Nintendo just quietly dropped one of the best eShop sales of the year. Most Switch and Switch 2 owners are completely missing it, but a handful of games are sitting at 80 to 90% off right now. Titles that normally never go on sale. I dug through pages of deals so you don't have to, and a few of these titles are genuinely too good to pass up. The sale ends soon, and you'll want to grab these before they're gone. Welcome to another Game Gallery video. My name is John, and as I'm talking, go ahead and join me in the comments and let me know what games are you most excited to pick up. With that being said, let's get right into it. First up is Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition, and this one is a massive deal. This is the lowest price this game has ever been on the Switch 2 eShop, so if you've been waiting for the right moment, this is genuinely it. For $34.99, you're getting the full Cyberpunk 2077 experience, plus the Phantom Liberty expansion included, which is an enormous amount of content. We're talking one of the most ambitious open-world RPGs ever made, now portable on Switch 2. Night City is stunning, the story is incredible, and the sheer volume of missions, side quests, and builds to explore will keep you busy for well over 100 hours. This is a Switch 2 exclusive deal, so Switch 1 owners won't find this one. It ends February 23rd, which is the soonest expiring deal in today's video, so don't sleep on this one. If you only grab one game from this list, this might be it. Next at 75% off is Celeste, and if you haven't played this yet, $5 is absolutely no excuse anymore. Celeste is one of the most beloved indie games ever made, a precision platformer where you guide your character up a mountain, and it's as much about mental health and acceptance as it is about tight, satisfying gameplay. The level design is genius, the pixel art is absolutely gorgeous, the soundtrack is genuinely one of the best, probably in all of gaming. It's a very hard and challenging game, but it never feels unfair, and it has one of the most rewarding feelings of progression you'll find in any platformer. On top of the main story, there's a massive amount of optional content for players who want an extra challenge. At $4.99, this is practically free for the quality you're getting, and this deal runs until March 1st, so you've got a little time on this one, but don't wait too long. This one is almost unbelievable. Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate is down to just $4.99, which is an 88% discount and the lowest price this game has ever been. This is a Switch 1 title, so it'll run in backwards compatibility mode on Switch 2, and it plays great. Generations Ultimate is one of the most content-rich entries in the entire Monster Hunter franchise. It has over 90 monsters, hundreds of hours of hunts, and the unique hunting style system lets you completely change how you play with each weapon. It's a love letter to the whole series up to that point, pulling monsters and locales from across Monster Hunter history. If you're a Monster Hunter fan who missed this one, or you're a newcomer who wants to dive deep into the series at basically no cost, $5 is an absolute steal. This deal ends February 26th. No Man's Sky has become one of the greatest redemption stories in gaming, and at $23.99, it's worth every penny. This plays on both Switch 1 and Switch 2, making it accessible for everybody. What started as a shaky and controversial launch has evolved through the years of updates into an absolutely massive experience. Now it features base building, space exploration, supports multiplayer, has underwater worlds, mech suits, ships, hundreds of hours of content across an essentially infinite universe. Every planet is unique, all your playthroughs can be different, and the game keeps getting updated even to this day. Whether you want a chill exploration experience or deep survival and crafting challenges, No Man's Sky delivers. At 60% off, this is a tremendous value for the sheer amount of gaming you're getting. It really is. This deal ends February 26th, so grab it soon. Into the Breach is one of those games that sounds simple but hides an almost bottomless amount of strategic depth, and at $4.49, it's a no-brainer. This is a turn-based tactics game from the creators of FTL, where you control these powerful mechs defending humanity against giant alien creatures called the Vek. What makes it brilliant is the entire enemy plan is visible before you move, so every turn becomes a puzzle where you're trying to find the perfect solution. It's endlessly replayable thanks to your squads that have different play styles and an unlockable roster of pilots. Games are short enough so that it's perfect for quick handheld sessions, but deep enough so that you want to keep coming back and improving your runs. It's the kind of game that makes you feel like a genius when it all clicks. This deal ends February 28th. Tinykin is one of the most charming and underrated games on the Switch, and at $6.24, most people have zero reason not to try it. Think of it as a love letter to classic Pikmin, where you're this tiny astronaut stranded in a giant house, and you're recruiting adorable little creatures called Tinykin to help you solve puzzles and navigate the environment. The level design is really creative and densely packed with just little secret areas. The movement feels fantastic, and it really feels like you're playing through an old Cartoon Network cartoon, but in a Pikmin style game. It's not brutally long, but it is a wonderfully crafted game that leaves you smiling. If you're a fan of Pikmin or just want something that is fresh and joyful to play, this is a hidden gem absolutely worth picking up. This deal runs until March 15th, which is the longest window in today's video. Monster Hunter Rise is an absolute bargain at $7.99, and if you want the full experience with the massive Sunbreak expansion included, you can grab that bundle for just $9.99. Either way, you're getting one of the best games in the Monster Hunter series at an incredible price. Rise introduced the wirebug mechanic, which completely transformed movement and combat, making things feel more fluid and acrobatic than any previous entry. It's a fantastic starting point for newcomers and a blast for veterans with a huge roster of monsters and deeply satisfying weapon variety. Sunbreak also adds an enormous amount of in-game content, new monsters, and a whole new storyline that doubles the game's length. At $9.99 for both, this is genuinely one of the best value propositions in gaming right now and on the eShop. This deal ends February 26th. Cocoon is one of the most inventive puzzle games in recent memory, and at $12.49, it deserves way more attention than it gets. This is a wordless, atmospheric puzzle adventure where you're carrying entire worlds inside orbs and using them to solve increasingly mind-bending challenges. It sounds pretty wild, and the core mechanic of placing worlds within worlds also sounds wild, and it absolutely is, but the game introduces everything so elegantly that it never feels overwhelming. It's from one of the lead designers of Limbo and Inside, and that pedigree shows in every frame. It runs around 5 to 6 hours, which makes it perfect for a weekend, and at half price, it's a must for puzzle game fans or if you're just seeking something more cerebral. This deal ends March 6th. Rift of the Necrodancer just hit its lowest price ever at $9.99, which makes this a perfect time to jump in if you're curious. This is the latest entry in the Necrodancer series, and this one is a rhythm-based game where you play as Cadence, battling through musical riffs and iconic boss encounters that are all tied to the beat of an absolutely banging soundtrack. It's more of an arcade and boss rush experience compared to the original Crypt of the Necrodancer, with tight rhythm gameplay that really rewards good timing and pattern recognition. The music is incredible, and it's the kind of game that just keeps pulling you back for one more run. If you love rhythm games or you just want something that's different and high energy, this is well worth $10. This deal ends February 26th. 90% off, $1.99. Cursed to Golf is at its lowest price ever, and there's almost no justification for not picking this one up. This is a roguelike golf game where you've been cursed to play golf in the afterlife, working your way through procedurally generated courses filled with traps, hazards, and increasingly chaotic challenges. It's funny, creative, and it scratches a very specific itch of being mechanically satisfying, but also wildly unpredictable. You collect cards that give you special abilities, and the courses keep surprising you. The whole thing also just has a fantastic personality. For $2, this is a complete impulse buy, and you'll almost certainly get your money's worth. This deal ends March 4th. Last up is a special one because this deal isn't actually available on the eShop. Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remastered is currently 40% off on Amazon, bringing it down to $29.99 for the physical version. These are two complete classic JRPGs remastered in HD. And for fans of the genre, these games are absolute legends. Suikoden 2 in particular is widely considered one of the greatest JRPGs ever made. It has an emotional story, a massive cast of recruitable characters, and it also has strategic army battle sequences alongside traditional turn-based combat. The HD remaster cleans up the presentation beautifully while keeping the soul of the originals completely intact. This is a physical Amazon exclusive deal, so head over there to grab it. I don't have the end date of this sale confirmed on this one, so if you're interested, I'd pick it up sooner rather than later.